the only person that's still alive on this album cover besides Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney.
Maybe, Paul. Greetings and welcome to the cold open of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band Good Time Podcast. Big Bob.
Big Bobby D. Bobby Dills.
Bob Dylan. And a little recap of everything we've learned so far. If you've joined us, if you've stuck with us this whole time, we want to thank you for
we could just
that.
rest on our laurels knowing that we're the only people that have ever done a podcast like this, and that whether or not it's good is inconsequential, as we will always be the first people to ever do this podcast. But no, we care about the quality of the show. We care about your enjoyment of the show and the entertainment value that it brings to you. If you're going through something dark right now, I hope you're not, but if you are,
you know what to do.
This'll, pull out your Sgt. Pepper Lonely Hearts Club Band album covers out, and let's get to business.
Get to business. Go make your bed with your Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band bed sheets.
Yeah, even if that's the only thing you do today, just making your bed with your Sgt. Pepper Lonely Hearts Club Band podcast sheets.
Available at popular prices.
But hey, that's
Space
still
Target.
something. And I know it sounds like we're joking around, but like in actuality, doing one thing actually does make you feel way better. Just doing one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you were just washing your sink full of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band dishes and cups, which you really shouldn't be drinking out of, because those cups, they're made with lead. It's glass. It's from the 70s, and they used to put lead in those glasses.
They've been recalled.
Yeah, just like the Garfield ones and the Peanuts ones. But you know what? You washed them, and that's less lead in your sink.
And more in the groundwater.
So who is Bob Dylan? I've never heard of this.
Bob Dylan is an American singer-songwriter and musician who has been an influential figure in the music industry for several decades. He was born Robert Allen Zimmerman on May 24th, 1941 in Duluth, Minnesota, and began his career in the early 1960s as a folk musician in New York City. Dylan's early songs were primarily protest songs and political anthems, but he later expanded his style to include a wide range of genres, including rock and roll, blues, country, and gospel. He is considered one of the most influential figures in the history of popular music, and his songs have been covered by numerous artists across many different genres. Dylan's lyrics often deal with social and political issues as well as with personal themes. He has been a major influence on many other songwriters and musicians, and his songs have become a part of the cultural fabric of the United States and many other countries. He has been awarded numerous awards throughout his career, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom and the Nobel Prize of Literature.
He's the only person that's still alive on this album cover besides Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney.
Maybe, Paul.
Well, yeah. Yeah, Paul,
Yeah.
He was in that accident.
He was.
How many accidents has Paul McCartney been in? They could have just kept changing him out.
It was just the one. And he was done.
They should have done it a bunch of times. How much better would it have been if, like, every couple albums they wrote a song about a car accident and then just introduced a new person? And it, like, for the first one's Billy Shears, but then the next time they're like Jacob Rogers. And then, but then they're like, no, it's still Paul, but he always looks slightly different. But it's still just Paul, but he looks slightly different. And then people are like, oh, no, remember his eyes used to be almond shaped. Now they're round. Oh, he used to have that scar. Where'd the scar go? And then and it's like
Hashtag show us the scar.
They would have
He has
had
it
to
covered up now. He doesn't show it anymore.
But it's like every 2 to 3 albums, they just have another car crash song and then introduce a new person. So you're saying there's a secret society of Elvis impersonators that are allowed, that are like, it's the highest honor you can get as an Elvis impersonator is to appear somewhere specifically with the intention of someone seeing you and thinking that you're actual Elvis. So you don't get to perform at shows, you don't get to do parties, you can only be pumping gas.
Harpens back to what you said a couple episodes ago about the Behringer of the Apocalypse or something from the Bible, Revelations.
Oh, yeah.
All the heads, some severed,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These are all conspiracy theories that the Beatles definitely put into this cover. There's no way I'm just picking up on this on my own. They put these things there. Even if you only do one thing, like every day, like even if you just shovel all the Sgt. Pepper albums off of your driveway.
I think they're going to say shovel all the snow with your Sgt. Pepper's. From the Hearts Club Band Snow Shovel.
Well, you're using the Sgt. Pepper Lonely Hearts Club Band Snow Shovel while you're shoveling all of the Sgt. Pepper vinyl album covers off of your driveway. Not into your neighbor's yard, though, because normally they hate things like that. But who wouldn't love a couple hundred Sgt. Pepper album covers?
The grass doesn't grow underneath those.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You still might kill their lawn.
It's probably better for your lawn than Roundup, though.
Yeah, well, the Roundup gets into all the crops, too. It's called a systemic poison.
Just gotta be careful not to stare at it too long. The cover, that is. Like a field, just a yard full of this album cover.
Every time I look at the album cover, I just see Bob Dylan staring me down like I'm an idiot. Who would you? I can't look at this guy anymore. We have to change him.
I can't unlook at him.
We have to change him into a different person. Who's?
What, Bob Dylan is evolving?
Yeah, let's pretend that Bob Dylan is Tom Petty now, and Tom Petty is he's on the cover now, and Frank Lloyd Wright is growing out of his face.
I got a specific Tom Petty in mind.
Which Tom Petty?
The Don't Come Around Here No More.
I was just going to say the Mad Hatter Tom Petty.
Alice in Wonderland Tom Petty.
We could just take the hat off of that wax dummy that's right next to him. The Cat in the Hat, sort of, the flapper, Cat in the Hat, flapper hat.
Yeah, that's what the kind you'd wear at the beach in the 30s.
And then do a little abracadabra, turn him into Tom Petty. And send Bob Dylan on his way.
I think there's bigger musicians, though, than Tom Petty.
How dare you?
I'm saying it.
Bigger musicians or better musicians that are also similar to Bob Dylan?
I'm thinking more influential. More influential than Tom Petty? Bruce?
Sure.
Not
yeah, I guess it's all... No, I know. Springsteen, the boss.
The boss. Not Tony Danza.
I guess they're all kind of heartland musicians, right? Well, then why not just make it Tom Waits?
I like Tom Waits.
I do too.
No one else is going to put him on there.
I'll put Tom Waits on there.
Not Elvis.
No. I'm surprised Elvis isn't on the cover. Which Tom Waits is on there? Is it the one that's like, yeah, I don't even want to know why I showed up to this thing. It's taking so long. Or is it the who's taking my picture?
Fasten, gotta get the paper.
Yeah. So I was driving my car through the drive-thru at Jack in the Box. Real greasy, sloppy burger. I took one bite and I just knew I had to find that throne. I had to sit on that golden throne and just let all my cares go down the pipes.
Leave it all behind you.
Leave it all behind.
Can't take it with you.
I think that Tom Petty is Bob Dylan, but just better. Although I don't know a lot about Bob Dylan, but I like Bob Dylan too. I don't dislike Bob Dylan. I feel like Tom Petty's like catchier. Tom Petty's for everybody.
How about Neil?
Neil Young's great too.
I only kneel for Neil.
All right, Neil Young. I'll go with that. Neil Young sounds like Bob Dylan got his balls clipped. Keep searching for a heart, a cold. I'm getting old.
Yeah. I love Neil. Love to see him on there. Old Neil.
Love to see you kneel. Hate to see you bend.
There was a nail salon on my street growing up called Young Nails, and that always made me think of
Neil Young.
Neil Young.
Neil Young would be a good name for a salon. They would only do like American flag nails, though. Actually, what the hell am I talking about? Neil Young was a hippie.
Yeah.
It would be all pot leaves. But they would be over American flags. That's the only nails you can get. It's just like the stripes, and then the pot leaf would be all the stars. I just don't know how they make those pot leaves so detailed on the American flag nails.
Very fine brush. Very fine tip.
Probably a magnifying glass. You would have to, right?
Yeah, be using your Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band magnifying glass to really see.
Yeah, the one that you have to send in the 3 box tops from Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Crunch.
The very same. But before we turn Bob Dylan into Neil Young, I would love to know what if Bob Dylan said something to Mae West.
Me too.
I'm sure everybody wanted to talk to both of them, so
yeah.
it's probably difficult for them to get a moment. But we're sure it happened, and this is exactly what they would have said to each other.
Oh, yeah. It's very scientific.
Excuse me, Miss West. I just had to say hello.
Well, hello there, handsome. What can I do for you?
I'm a big fan of your work, Miss West. I think you're amazing.
You have good taste, honey. What's your name?
Bob Dylan.
Oh, I know who you are. The voice of a generation. So what brings you here?
Just passing through, I guess. I heard this was the place to be.
It sure is, honey. You're in good company here.
I can see that. Say, do you think we could take a picture together?
I'd love that, honey.
Excuse me, sir. Could you take a picture of us?
Sure thing.
Bob Dylan and Mae West pose for the picture, with Mae West leaning in close to Bob Dylan.
You know, honey, I like your style. Why don't you stick around and dance with me?
I would love to, Miss West. Lead the way.
Oh, it was very wholesome.
That is. Good for them. I'm glad they got to meet.
She recognized that he was too young for her. Right?
She asked him what his name was.
Yeah, she didn't know his name. Well,
she didn't recognize him.
She didn't recognize his face. But when she heard his name...
Yeah.
She probably never listened to any of his music because the whole time he was talking to her, he was basically just doing what he does in his songs. She just thought it was cute. She thought he was cute, like in an adorable kind of way.
So here we are, end of season 1. 15 figures identified, biographied, super fortified.
Some of them might have even gotten lucky.
With Mae West.
Of all people.
Who are the number one contenders here? I'm thinking Fields.
For Mae West's
Astaire.
affections? Who's going to last into season 2?
Uh-huh.
Oh, she really liked...
Lenny.
Yeah, Lenny Bruce. She loved Lenny Bruce. Because he was edgy. He was a bad boy. Yeah. W.C. Fields, he's not a contender. He's too old and ugly.
Correct.
Fred Astaire, she already has history with.
That's done.
Yeah. I don't see her going back.
If everybody wants to see that history, watch Swingin' in the City, wherever you stream.
I'm sure it's on TCM or something.
Yeah.
I'm more of an AMC guy, but Hunts Hall, he's out.
He's out. Leo Gorshi's so out. He's not even there.
The Architect. Vargas. Vargas is still in.
Vargas got to paint her. Hardly knows her.
Hey. And then Bob Dylan's out. I'm saying, from what I recall,
yeah,
I'm saying Lenny Bruce. But there's a lot of people that she still needs to meet in season 2 when we biography, quantify, subjectify, objectify, crucify, trucify.
And we ain't leaving no part untouched.
No. But just as ChatGPT requires, and our own personal morals and standards also adhere to, it's all consensual, baby.
Consent is sexy. Let's run the numbers real quick. Only 2 of these folks on here have been women. And 6 of them are actors, 3 of them musicians, 4 are sort of philosophers, 1 architect. I don't know if that's interesting.
It's worth thinking about. 1 architect. Who cares? That was just someone's, little... It was a throwaway.
17 little towers.
It was a throwaway. Actors, very clearly important to the Beatles. They love actors. They love celebrity. They love fame and the power. And they love the idea that they can have that power and take that power from other people. Musicians, same thing.
Obviously, yeah.
All about acquiring and taking power. The philosophers, 2 of them are evil. Weren't 2 of them evil? 1 of them is evil.
1 of them, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't say Young is evil, but Crowley, yeah.
Yeah, Crowley's evil.
He's dark and nefarious.
He spoke of nothing but love. But he made it sound real evil. It was strange.
It's all love for himself.
And then there were 2 women, Mae West
and a Varga girl.
Yeah, and she's not a real
Not
person.
even a real person.
She's probably based on a real person. He probably had a model that he used. Well, what do you think? Who do you want to see on the cover of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band? I guess it doesn't matter because the album's already out. It's been out for like 40 years. But we're gonna get through the rest of it.
Join us, won't you?
We're gonna get through all of it.
All of it.
Only one,
down to the stone figure.
Only one can remain. There can only be one.
And who is Sgt. Pepper still?
We need to find that out too.
I just want to go one more time, left to right, with who we replace them with.
Okay.
For posterity. Oprah. The genie from Disney's Aladdin in the form of Phil Collins. His arms are wrapped around Oprah and Jimmy Page. Then you got Aubrey Plaza, Mark Maron, Harold Faltermeyer. Faltermeyer, am I saying that?
Harold Faltermeyer.
Faltermeyer. Next to Bill Murray. This is a fun crowd. Next to a giant Terry Crews.
Terry Crews sort of looming over everyone.
Yeah, really like eclipsing the entire. He really stands head
He's
and
bigger
shoulders
than the genie.
over.
We'll say that he's bigger than the genie.
Yeah, dwarfs the genie. And in his.
He's like two genies, two Aladdin genies at standard genie size. Not when he's like making himself bigger.
Uh-huh. And in between, and in front of him, like in his arms, it's Frank Sinatra, and
it's not Frank Sinatra.
No,
it's Fred Astaire.
No, we switch it to Frank Sinatra.
Oh yeah, no, that's right.
Or we'll switch it back.
It's confusing because when I look at him, I see Frank Sinatra, so I'm like, no, that's
the Lisa Frank baby
tiger.
Next to the girl from Rio, the
Nagel girl.
The Nagel girl. Next to Corey Feldman with $400 in his hand.
But he's also got his arm around the Nagel girl, and he's giving the middle finger with that same hand, not the one that has the $400, the one that's around her. Mm-hmm. And then he's got a thought bubble above his head that has a picture of Leo Gorcey with X's in his eyes.
It's one of the special extra peel and peel again stickers that comes in the packaging.
Hunt's Hall is just a bottle of Hunt's ketchup being held by
James Spader.
James Spader, yeah, making a really ominous face. Then Frank Lloyd Wright is growing out of Neil Young's head.
Take it in.
That's it.
Beautiful.
I don't think canonically it's Frank Lloyd Wright growing out of his head. I just want the picture to still look the same. Still taken the same way.
I don't think Oprah's able to stash bag anyone, though.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be cool if she could.
Well, she could with her hair. Oprah's had different hairstyles over the years. You could have long hair Oprah.
Mm-hmm.
Just not a mustache anymore.
Yeah. So then it's not stash bagging. But
nah. Then it's just regular hair bagging.
Yeah. Call it what you will. But we call it...
A bag's a bag. Huh?
Call it what you will, but we call it Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band Good Time Podcast.
Yeah, and we were thrilled to get to know all of you individually and as a group.
You're such a lovely audience.
So keep listening.
And keep those records out.